the motion, right? Okay, let me call Aliyah. Please take your seat. Again, you are against the motion, right? Let me call Shivam. Shivani, sorry, I'm really sorry. Sorry. Shivani, she's Shivani. Okay, she's Shivani and she will be in favor of the motion. And Natia, please come. Please be seated here. Well, we have some static hindrance, thoda sa space ka issue hai, but anyways, last but not the least, she's Manna, please come. चलो थोड़ा सा ट्विस्ट देते हैं because सबके हाथ में पेपर है and paper is not going to help you at all. So what we are going to do is एक वर्ड, आपको एक वर्ड बताना है व्हाट इज सोशल मीडिया, ठीक है? एक वर्ड बताना है, दोनों बोलेंगे, अगेंस्ट वाले भी बोलेंगे और फेवर वाले भी बोलेंगे. सोशल मीडिया एक वर्ड में आपके लिए क्या है? फॉर मी इट इज फेसबुक. व्हाट इज, चलो वॉलंटियरली, फॉर मी इट इज फेसबुक. वॉलंटियरली बताएं. इंस्टाग्राम. ओके, एनीबॉडी एल्स? व्हाट्सएप. ओके, व्हाट एल्स? Twitter, all right. Anybody else in one word?
Facebook.
Facebook, okay.
Global platform. Global
platform, okay, all right. Adiba, you want to say something? Snapchat. So somehow that describes the kind of social media that we are in, that we know, right? So हमारा opening question रहेगा, there is no life without social media. There is no life without social media. इसको आप डिफेंड भी कर सकते हैं. Who will open the box? Okay, but you are against it, right? So there is no life without social media. How do you respond to that?
I completely disagree with it. Why should social media be the one that we should depend on? You can play outside with your family or friends, you can spend time with them. Why do we say that there's no life without social media? There's so many things 50, 60 years back. Did we have social media? Anyone out there who agrees? Was there social media 50 years back? No. Then why do we say life without social media? There's no life without social media. Anyone from there who says?
Wonderful. They say that there are a plenty number of things that we can do without social media. So, how would you respond to it?
I strongly believe that social media has played an important role in everyone's life. Because in this competitive world, we need social media. We refer everything from social media. But in olden days, yes, we did have letters, we did have telegram, and now we have social media. We have Google. We have a lot of apps, which like for the students, we have really good educational apps. Now, if the student didn't understand from the teacher, they go to the internet and they refer from YouTube or any educational apps like Duolingo or anything like that.
And talking about the people from the olden times, they weren't that much modern as people are right now.
But social media is making us unsocial. It's killing relationships. It's replacing the experiences. It's replacing everything how we use it to live.
We can communicate it with our friends. We can connect with other people far from us, and it's not like we socialize. We also socialize using our mobile phones, using social media, using the apps. Today, people use Twitter, WhatsApp, etc.
Spending a lot of time on social media, people are habituated to non-verbal communication. They are losing their interest in face-to-face communication, and they are using the screen for their communication. People are growing up on looking at screens, they are not looking at face, and they are losing the communication skills. What would you say about it?
Most importantly, let us not forget the contribution of social and digital platforms during the era of COVID.
And the people, we are losing what? Can you please repeat the question?
Communication skills.
And it's about actually the usage of how much time you use social
गिव मी
media.
अ सेक प्लीज। जब आपका माइक यूज में नहीं होगा आप ऐसे ये बटन बंद करेंगे, ठीक है? जब आपका यूज में नहीं होगा आप इसका बटन बंद करेंगे, जब आप बोलेंगे या किसी को हैंड ओवर करेंगे यू विल पुट इट ऑन, ओके?
And the use of social media depends on how people use it or how excessively a person uses it. That's why if I use a social media and I am using it excessively, that's my problem. That's not the problem of social media.
But we are not using it in a good way. Our topic is social media. Is it learning the methods to gain followers on an Instagram account which shares no informative content? Is it making unnecessary reels? Is it taking pictures even while walking and sharing it to your friends? That is something called Snap, and where you share it, that's Snapchat. Or is it looking for a girl to talk with on Speakler?
Actually, it depends on a person how
Is it
he
looking for a girl
utilizes
to
it.
talk on Speakler? That's an English learning app. We can connect with different people and talk with them in English. I'm using that app from 3 years and now I've on that app. What boys do there about 80% of boys just look for a girl to talk, and whenever they get connected to a boy, they just disconnect the call. And now what I'm doing there, when I get connected to someone without saying hello, hi, I say don't disconnect the call. These 3 words make them laugh and it grabs their attention. But by doing these things, do you know we can get something from it? It is totally waste of time.
Okay, what Saqib says is that in the name of education, something else is done on social media, but that is again done in the name of education. So how does this group? देखो हमारे इस डिस्कशन में, डिबेट में आप ये नहीं समझना कि कोई विनर है कोई लूजर है। ऑल ऑफ अस आर गेनिंग थिंग्स, ऑल ऑफ अस आर गेनिंग नॉलेज, राइट? तो साकिब ने जो कहा दैट इन द नेम ऑफ एजुकेशन समथिंग एल्स इज डन, मतलब इंटेंट कुछ और होता है और करा कुछ और जाता है। तो हाउ वुड यू रिस्पॉन्ड टू दैट? एनी ऑफ यू, एनी वन ऑफ यू?
It's not about how many people like your post, or it all depends upon our use, how we use social media. Social media is very useful to us if we use it in positive way. Just like it has many apps for students, just like Magnet Brains, Beyond School, Extra, Byju's. So we can use it positive way. That's very, very, very useful to us. Not only what Saqib is saying.
Okay, has somebody, because Byju's is a totally educational platform. So are you using Byju's for education?
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice. Would you like
It
to say
has
something?
also helped many people to improve their creative skills.
Right.
And in earlier times, people couldn't showcase their talent. Now they have YouTube and they have their own channels from where they can earn, and they're making the best use of it.
Okay, great. So we also know that there are many Facebook channels which have a huge number of followers, and keeping the number of followers intact, you can monetize that page. You can have those advertisements on this page. So that was the first question. Social media, no life without social media. But then we have seen that there is life without social media. I would say it's not a blessing. मैं इनके लिए बोलूँगा because पहले मैंने आपके लिए बोला था. It's not a blessing, it's a curse. Do you agree? Do you agree it's a curse? Okay, how do you explain that? Anybody?
Social media has become a hindrance in the way of social and emotional feelings. Be it the wishes on special days or expressing one's feelings, all this has been limited to textual content through social media. This results in the lack of emotional feelings and connections.
All right. Would somebody like to?
Once somebody said to Swami Vivekananda ji, Swami ji, what's poison? And Swami ji replied, excess of everything is poison. And when we excessively use social media, that also becomes poison. And we clearly know what poison does. It kills us, it deteriorates us. And one more thing against that Byju's, Vedanta, you are saying, if a child is using Byju's and he is studying on his father's phone, an inappropriate ad can come suddenly. That is age inappropriate. And one more thing, any message, any link can come into his phone, and by clicking on that link, his father's account can maybe
be bankrupt. He
maybe
can be
empty.
bankrupt.
His father's bank account may be empty.
Excess of everything is harmful, and the same concept is applied to social media.
The most crucial effect of social media on the present scenario is in mental health of the user. We can see that everywhere is nuclear family, and in nuclear family, people spend less time with each other. By sharing their thoughts with each other, they share it on social media and look for a better decision on social media, with which they are addicted to some bad habits like drugs and anything else. And social media addiction is one of the biggest addictions we can see, because there exist nuclear families everywhere. So people are not spending time with each other. They are spending time in social media. What would you say about it?
It depends upon the user, what he or she is extracting out of it.
And if my father has given a phone to me to learn, and I just watch some inappropriate videos or something else you are saying, I waste my time. That's I am deceiving my family. I am deceiving my parents, and that's my fault. That's not the fault of social media. You cannot blame social media.
You want to say something?
I totally agree with your point. But now we do have some cures in social media. You can look up to it. Like if you have depression, you can do yoga. You can do any other activities. You can look up into Google and you can search what you have and you can search a cure for that. So even social media helps in that too.
All right. Somebody wants to.
I personally believe that social media spread the unreliable and false information too. Whenever we open Facebook, there are false information about the Congress, about the government, and for abusive language is used.
That's how you take it. If you take it in a real, like if it's fake, just leave it. If you really believe it, you believe it. It's totally dependent on the person who's using the social media.
They portray it in such a manner that you have to believe it. There is no other choice when it's asked.
When you have some sense in your when you have some sense, you will look up for other information.
We can use it carefully, but it still addicts us. Our neurons secrete dopamine hormone, and when we see a message, when a message comes, we see a small icon on the social media apps, for example Instagram. That's a notification icon, and when we see that, we get surprised until we see the message on likes or comments. It doesn't give us comfort. It doesn't give us comfort. So. Until we check that, it feels uncomfortable for us. So that addiction keeps growing, then that dopamine hormone keeps secreting, and whenever message comes, it surprises that it gives us happiness. And like the drug addicts, until we see a message, it doesn't give us happiness, and that dopamine keeps secreting, and we get addicted to it. That's the dopamine hormone secreted by the our neurons of our brain, and it's not your fault. We can do it carefully, but that tries everything to make us addicted.
Okay, wonderful. Since we are, 8 minutes are already gone, we would love to, we would have loved to hear more about it. However, I will be going with the last question with a duration of 1 minute each for each group. ठीक है? एक मिनट कोई भी बताना चाहेगा या सारे बताना चाहोगे? Because what you were saying and what you have said, you have talked about the disadvantages of social media, you have talked about the advantages of social media, how can we use it. Now, हम इसको एक necessary evil बोल सकते हैं, right? Okay, it's a necessary evil, and I'm sure that your poem is going to say something about both the good and the bad things. You can continue.
I have written a poem about social media, and that includes both the advantages and disadvantages. I will narrate that. It's a necessary evil, acts like the paddy weevil. Indubitably, it's a resourceful horde, but behaves like the double-sided sword. It clasps its owner and ruins their future, gives them a bite and absorbs their sight. It's obviously a wealth, but deteriorates the health. If used with care, provides a share. It absorbs the mummies, affects their progenies, creates a venom in the hearts, results in the reparts. Thanks.
Okay, does any group member wants to add anything to it? Although the poem contained anything more. Okay, आप भी कह सकते हैं. If anybody wants to add to it, because we are going to conclude it. Okay.
The aspect that comes into our mind is we continuously compare ourselves with others. We think that he has posted something and we will post something better than him. We can say that all the glitters are not gold. What is shown on social media is not actual. It's fake or false. We can say it's not actual, it's fake or false. So we can say all the glitters are not gold. That is posted on social media. It's not possible.